Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends King in Black 2-pack with Knull and Venom. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking a look at this Marvel Legends King in Black 2-pack with Knull and Venom. Now, this is a very sought after 2-pack, as we already know this is going to be a great Venom, and now he has wings, but we are also more excited to add Knull to our Marvel Legends collection. And if you know anything about Knull, you know he is a formidable foe. He is basically the king of the symbiotes. Marvel have turned the symbiotes into such a deep lore within comics, and if you've read the King of Black storyline, you know what it's all about. That is where you see Venom with his wings right at the very end, when he is the new King in Black, essentially. Spoiler alert. But anyway, packaging. You know what these are like by now. Blind boxes. Hopefully there's no potatoes in here, and I actually have these figures with good paint apps, but we shall find out. This is still sealed right now. Considering the price of this box really doesn't scream premium Marvel Legends to me. It really doesn't. It looks cheap. They can do a better job here. There should be some comic art or something. There's a bit of comic art on this side. That looks good, but the digital render should keep to the back, in my opinion. They're on the side with King in Black there. We've got the Spider-Man 60 Amazing Years at the top, which is what this set is celebrating with the other 9 sets this summer. And then on the back, as I said, digital renders. I don't mind the digital renders on the back with a list of the accessories. We get no write-up, no cross-sale. But again, the front of the box could really be better. But anyway, I'm just hesitating and delaying the inevitability of opening this because there's probably going to be something wrong. But cross your fingers and wish me luck. And let's get it open. Now, I've never really been an open box guy on these reviews, but considering that I'm having so many issues recently, this has just turned into a Russian roulette. Am I going to get good paint apps or not? I don't know. So this is just a bit of fun. So there we have the wings. Everything is in paper, and there we have Knull and Venom in their cardboard coffins, all right? So there's tape everywhere, so I'm going to take these out and just hope for the best. Whew, okay, everyone take a deep breath, a sigh of relief. It appears like all my paint apps are there. Now, I may notice something as I go through this review, but I just did a little quick inspection, and it seems like everything's there. I know poor Prime versus Prime was literally missing an eye, and he now has a pirate Venom, but I seem to be okay. But considering I've been suffering from QC issues, I deserved a bit of luck. So on the table, we get Knull and Venom, who are massive, by the way. Like, this is the Venom movie body, and you know that was big, but Knull's even bigger than that. Both of them come with an interchangeable head. Venom gets an interchangeable set of fisted hands, and instead of interchangeable hands, we get the Necro sword, this all black, like whatever you want to call it, for Knull, and this looks impressive. Really like the look of this. So yeah, obviously Venom comes with his wings as well, but they're just so big, I couldn't fit them on the review table right now. But of course, we're going to look at this. I'm going to do comparisons with Sauron and even Goliath from NECA to see the wingspan on these. So obviously, we'll look at them shortly. So the wings are there intact. But first, I just wanted to get the tape measure out so you can see for yourself how tall these guys are. It's been a while since I got the tape measure out. I had to go and find it in the garage. But as you can see, Knull is over 8 inches tall. Like, his hair literally takes him over 8 inches. So that's impressive. So I want to look at Knull first because he is the new figure here. And I always love adding new characters to the display. And Knull's a badass. Knull existed in the vast darkness of space before life and light emerged. Always unhappy that the universe itself was created in his kingdom, he created a weapon from his own being, a symbiote sword called the All Black. He later learned to create symbiotes that could bond with other beings and created a hive mind with him at the center. He is the reason that symbiotes exist in the Marvel universe. He is the Lord of the Abyss, the God of the symbiotes, the King in Black. So let's take a closer look at Knull, starting at this creepy looking head sculpt. Now remember, underneath that symbiote armor he wears, he is like a really lean, scrawny guy. He's older than the universe itself, but he's very powerful, obviously. You can see those beady red eyes, the gritted grin, and his hair flowing to one side. So this is definitely the sort of battle pose head sculpt, so you can get him posed up holding the sword maybe. But yeah, this is definitely evil looking, all new. It's got sort of a bluish bluishy grey tinge to it, but it is definitely white skin, which matches the hair, and as I said, the hair flows in a way where it sort of looks like it's got a wash to it, but I do just think it's the shadows and lights hitting it, creating those details. But yeah, definitely the evilest of the two head sculpts. The second head sculpt is still evil. You can still see those beady red eyes, but now the mouth is closed, you can't see those gritted teeth, and it's a little bit more stern, a little bit more neutral looking. But I like the way that the sort of skin clings to the facial structure of his bones. It's like a really nice sculpt, and the hair is a new sculpt as well. It's not in that battle pose, it's sort of lying to one side. Again, I can't really tell if it's a wash or just the sort of lights creating shadows in the unique sculpt, but again, it is different to the previous one. So it gives you options for your Knull. You can either have this nice neutral face sculpt he's sort of planning, or you can have the battle ready Knull with the gritted teeth and the hair flowing as he's swinging the necro sword. So it's always nice to have options. Now taking a closer look at the armor itself. As I said, underneath this is a really scrawny guy, so this is all sort of bulked up symbiote armor, but I like the red logo on the front here. That's all sculpted in, and I'm happy to say that my paint lines are nice and clean on that sort of raised sculpt with a little bit of shine to it, which I don't mind. And then on the shoulder pads, there's like battle damage, there's like nicks and kinks that he's obviously been into some battles, which this guy has. As I said, he went round and tried to kill all the gods with his sword originally. He even took on some celestials. So yeah, this guy's not scared of a fight, and the sort of armor definitely sort of looks like that. Again, on the back, you can sort of see the scratches and nicks in it with that little gloss to it. Underneath that, you got all the wraps and sort of on the arms, double jointed pinless arms as well, my add. And the sort of wraps have like a green sort of tinge to it, so they sort of stand out against the black underneath. Same on this side as well, and again the arms are nice and scrawny, and the shoulders of pads are a separate piece, so when you articulate the arms up, they just lift up with the actual arm. So they're a separate piece made of a softer plastic, which are not going to get in the way of articulation. So I appreciate that. I'm assuming, yeah, they spin around, literally spin around with the arm. You literally see it upside down there. So yeah, these are attached to the shoulder and they move with the shoulder. So I like that. So you're going to be able to get this guy in some nice battle poses. The belt is a different color as well, and it is a separate plastic piece attached to this sort of skirt piece, which is all ratty and tatty. And again, that goes all the way around. You can see the thigh cut there underneath the skirt piece, so you've got the rotation of the thigh, the double jointed pinless knees. I always appreciate the pinlessness, and again the boots are that same sort of glossy armor with all the nicks and cracks in it that can show he's been through some wear and tear. Same with the knee pads there as well, a little bit more glossy compared to maybe the symbiote wrapping around his skin there. So yeah, nice skinny legs, skinny arms to go along with this creepy ghost-like exterior of Knull. As I said, if you've read anything about Knull, you know he's, as I said, very evil. Of course, Knull comes with the necro sword, the all black. This could be the original symbiote, as he forged this in the head of a decapitated celestial. And it's the reason that all like symbiotes fear sort of fire and sound, as they remember the sort of birth of this sword being forged in the fire and the echoing sound of the hammer being hit in that head of the celestial. So yeah, a lot of history here, which is quite modern in regards to story, but it goes all the way back to the origins. But yeah, look at this. So let me zoom in. You can see the black sort of glossy sword and handle with that red symbiote wrapping all the way around it. And these are all like separate tentacle pieces coming off it, which are attached to the blade. And yeah, it just looks really nice. It's like a glossy black with a matte red, and it's just a nice contrast. And you've got a little bit of brown on the handle, of course. But yeah, this is the same sword that basically Gore the God Butcher picked up and tried to kill all the gods with. So have we seen symbiotes in the MCU already? Maybe. But let's see if Knull will hold it. Of course he will hold it. He has one gripping hand here on the right. He doesn't come with an interchangeable set of hands, but he will grip the sword pretty well considering how heavy it is. So you'll be able to get him some nice poses for sure. The other hand's grip is a little bit too loose for the sword. But as I said, if you want him holding his sword on display, you can get him into some fighting poses, or he can just be holding it down by his side like that. But yeah, it is definitely a very nice accompanying piece to Knull for our Legends display. But look at that. This guy is epic. Let's show you what Knull is capable of in regards to articulation. It is that sort of standard points of articulation you get with a Marvel Legend, but let me point out once again, this is a completely pinless, double jointed figure. So the head is on a dumbbell joint, but then the neck underneath is also a separate piece. So you get lots of range on the head, like looking down and looking up, tilting. So yeah, with that head and neck articulation, lots of range there. As I've already showed you, the shoulders will go up and the shoulder pads will follow the arms, going all the way around. Double jointed elbows, which I could probably get to work better. There you go. So they go way past 90, and there's a hinge on the wrist as well, of course. So yeah, you get the bicep swivel as well. Of course, there is an ab crunch as well, hidden underneath this sort of armor plate. So it sort of hangs down and hides the articulation really well, but there is an articulation point there as well. You can see it bending. So he does bend forward a little bit, but you're going to bend the armor plate and then back so much more. And you can see you've got to be careful there that you don't warp that when you are articulating forward. But he will definitely go. It just sort of that piece hits the bout. But still, good range forward and back. The swivel as well is underneath the bout. So the points of articulation are hidden really well there. There's also the thigh swivel. I've showed you double jointed knees, which are pretty good. Can he kick his own ass? Nearly. And then you've got ankle pivot and rocker, of course. Legs will go out really far, literally high karate kicks. Can he do the splits? Nearly. Glenn Webb would have been proud of that. Yeah, this is a really good looking figure with all the articulation you're going to want. Completely pinless. This is definitely a standout figure of the year so far, in my opinion. Jumping into some comparisons, here we have Knull compared to a comic Venom and Carnage. Here we have the Renew Your Vows 2-pack with Spider-Man and Spinneret. Here we have Shriek and Symbiote Spider-Man. And of course I had to see what the Donny Cates Thor looked like compared to Knull. And as you can see, Knull sort of towers over everybody I've done in this comparison. But both of these figures on the table are potentially some of the best figures of the year. And these two look great together. So moving on to Venom, again, this guy looks impressive. We already know it's going to be a great figure as it is the MCU Venom, and I'll show you that shortly, but he comes with an interchangeable head, interchangeable set of fisted hands, and then these massive wings that I keep putting off because they're just so big, but we'll look at them very shortly. First, I want to do a comparison compared to the movie Venom. As I said, these are the same figure. The head sculpts are obviously unique on each of them, but this new one has the comic accurate details as you have that spider logo on the chest. I've not done that in the movie yet, maybe they will one day, but if I throw them both on the rotating base and let them spin around for a second, you will see they are the exact same figure. It is all about the deco. Even the hands are the same, it's just got the new paint on there. But yes, movie and comic, but on the same body mold with the unique heads. Let's look at them. So this first head is my favorite. As you can see, the big open mouth with that big gnarly tongue sticking out. And even the tongue has loads of like sculpted bumps on there against the glossiness as well. You can see the sort of jaw with the gums going all the way up with the big teeth that are painted really nice. So yeah, the big open eyes that you would expect to see on a Venom. So yeah, this head is beautiful. This is probably how I display mine, as it just screams comic Venom to me. And the tongue sticking out, as I said, it's glossy with the bumps and the teeth, and the teeth are like off-white. They're a little bit yellow. It's just, yeah, really good. Love the texture on this. Great head. I should probably stop shouting great head. The missus is really going to start wondering what I'm doing up here when I close the door. But here we have Venom's second head where the tongue is knocked out now. The teeth are gritted, still a little bit off-white with the nice big white out eyes. So again, really like the texture on this head sculpt. Again, another classic looking Venom head. So you have your options now. You either have the gritted teeth, or you can have the mouth open with that big gnarly tongue sticking out. I always appreciate options. So taking a quick look at this body, because again, it's the same as the MCU Venom. It's got the same points of articulation, the same pins on the arms and the legs, unfortunately, but still a great figure all the same. I really like the glossiness to this figure, like it sort of glimmers under the lights, like the symbiote is covering his body, as well as this sort of gritty texture and veins all over it. Like to touch, you can feel the veins and the texture on the body. So yeah, it's just not just a flat black, it's got really nice texture and glossiness to it. So yeah, even the squares on the hands and then that really nice, and again, I'm so glad my paint apps are good here, but really nice clean paint apps for the spider logo on the chest that go all the way around to the back as well. They didn't skimp out on the back. Really nice clean lines on the back there, and then you've got the two peg holes for his wings that I'll get into in a second. But yeah, just once again wanted to show that this is a great body, and if you don't have the movie Venom, then definitely pick this one up. And quickly, he has the open palm claw hands and a set of fisted hands as well. And his last piece are, of course, these epic wings, which are all brand new. At first, I thought Hasbro were just reusing Sauron, but no, these are all brand new and unique. So if you've seen the last couple of sort of panels of the King of Black, you know Venom grows these wings and flies off with his new symbiote army as the new King in Black. And yeah, there's dragons and everything in that story. So yeah, we needed big epic wings, and these are really nice. So just taking a closer look at one of them, you can see there's a point of articulation there. So both of them will sort of flay out a little bit. They've got this sort of nice sort of red. It's like a dark blood red, like a dirty blood, if you will. And it's got like the sort of rips in it as well, and the tattiness all around the side with this black sort of bone structure throughout it. On this side, it is just all black, of course, and then the red is on the inside. So yeah, really liking these wings. I think they're basically just symmetrical but opposite sides, but yeah, really good. And of course, Venom on the back of him has these two plugs, which I'm assuming this is going to be really easy to just plug these in. So let's try that here. And there we have both wings plugged in. I would advise heating them up though at first, but as you can see from the back, we've got all black wings with that point of articulation there. And then also you can see there is a hinge on the wing, so you can like pull them out flat on the back if you wanted to, like so. So there is a point of articulation there, and of course they will bend up and down like so as well. So yeah, points of articulation, but let's see the width. And pow, would you look at that wingspan. This undoubtedly looks epic. Even if you're not familiar seeing Venom with wings and you don't know about this storyline, you cannot deny that this looks like an epic action figure for the display. And it's going to take up some real estate as well, but he will literally stand there on his own 2 feet balancing with those wings on there. It does make him back heavy, of course, but you can get him to stand just like I've done here, and yeah, it looks epic. So let's get the tape measure out and actually see the wingspan on this guy. So we are talking at least 19, 20 inches, probably 20 inches if I stand him up straight, minimum. So I don't even know if my whole tape measure is on screen, but I assure you we're talking about 20 inches in wingspan, which is impressive. So I want to do some few comparisons. Let's do that. So here we have the X-Men Sauron, and I can't fit these side by side, but as you can see, the wingspans are very similar. Now, Sauron's wings are actually attached to the arms. They don't just plug in on the back. So definitely different wings, of course. And if you stretch out Sauron, he does have an impressive wingspan. So if you have Sauron, you sort of know what to expect in regards to width when it comes to Venom, as they are very similar, even though the mechanics are very different. And they're not a Marvel character, of course, but still in the Disney family. Here we have Goliath from NECA's Gargoyle range, who also has an epic wingspan, which is actually wider than Venom. So if you've got room for Goliath on the shelf, then you're definitely gonna have room for Venom. And I think the King in Black is also the new king of Marvel Legends Venoms, as when you compare him to these two previous releases, he is just so much better. So yeah, those two will still find a place in the display, but this new Venom is just another level. Here we have Symbiote Spider-Man and Monster Venom, who compared to an average Marvel Legends looks big and impressive, but comparing him to this Venom with the wings, he doesn't even look that impressive anymore. But yeah, that just shows you how good this new Venom is. But yeah, compared to a regular Symbiote Spider-Man, you can see this new Venom is just so much taller, like crazily big. And yeah, he even can hold his own compared to Monster Venom. Yes, Monster Venom's thicker, but the new Venom's taller. And here we have the spawn of Venom, aka Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage. And even these two are dwarfed compared to this Venom. Here we have Venom compared to Shriek and the inverted Future Foundation Spider-Man. Here we have the Renew Your Vows 2-pack with Spider-Man and Spinneret. And I must say right now that the best comic rendition of Spider-Man and Venom in Marvel Legends are these two right here on the table. The Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and this comic Venom. They're the best. And let's bring Knull back in, and I was also curious to see what King Thor looked like compared to these two. And yeah, these three are great. And they're definitely not going to all fit in frame, but here we have some of the Who crew with White Rabbit, Frogman and Tigra, who doesn't seem very happy with Knull, but I don't think she should try and take on that one, to be honest. And last but absolutely never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal, Fire, Hank. Nope. So, final thoughts on this Knull and Venom 2-pack. The Kings in Black. Both of these guys have been referred to as the King in Black in comics, so it does make a lot of sense. But Knull is epic. It is the first time we have gotten him in figure form, and he is completely pinless, great range of articulation, interchangeable parts. That Necro all-black sword is epic as well. So yeah, Knull for me is the standout here, but that takes nothing away from Venom. We already knew we were going to get a great Venom, as that movie Venom body is really good, but with the comic deco, as you can see, even without the wings, it makes a very worthy Venom. And then you just add those wings on. If you've got the real estate, he is going to look really good on display for sure. So yeah, honestly, two great figures. Now the 2-pack is a pretty penny, but again, at least I can tell you the figures are good if you're willing to pay the price. But yeah, happy to report no QC issues as well. I shouldn't even have to worry about stuff like that as a consumer, but it seems like these days we do. So I'm just relieved, to be honest, that I ain't got to deal with sloppy QC. Happy to report that these guys look great. So finally, the tide seems to be turning and I've got a little bit of luck. But you let me know what you think of this 2-pack in the comments below. Do you have the real estate to display Venom with those epic spread out wings? Always curious to hear your thoughts. And if you want to see more Marvel Legends reviews, then guess what, people? You're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, 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 hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please go the extra mile, hit that join button and become a channel member. Either show some love or join the members club. Support what we're doing on the channel, become a member and be on the channel. It is that simple. So as always, you can find me on Instagram, it's Dan Who. And I'm on Twitter as well, at Dan Who Reviews. And until then, people, I will always be Dan W, and I will see you on the next one.